Hey, Jake, like clockwork, we do a project every 11 years, right? Jake and I worked together on Jake's first real video game. How old were you? You were in eighth grade, so how old were you?
I had just turned 14.
And you were cast as the lead role for a Sony game called Medieval Moves Deadman's Quest. It took multiple sessions. What was your acting experience even before that?
It was I hate to admit it was next to none. I grew up being, just a gregarious kid and someone that liked to entertain and perform. And so when my mom started throwing me in the booth at a young age, it was something that just kind of came naturally. And I grew up playing video games and I grew up kind of understanding the world of video games. And so getting to combine like just my fun, energetic nature and then an enthusiasm to video games, it was like I felt like I felt so lucky, and I was getting paid too. It was like, oh, it was such a fun experience. It's very visceral, my memory of that time of my life, when I think about getting to go to the studios in Boulder, Colorado for it.
You're from Boulder?
I'm from Fort Collins. Yeah, so we would drive from Fort Collins to Boulder.
Nice. Those are my stomping grounds.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Well, I do think it's interesting, this thread of, your first job with Randy, and you're this young kid, and here you are coming back in this next phase, this next job. You're actually playing a young kid again.
As a young boy who was a late bloomer and was picked on for having a higher voice, I love getting to revel in just having the youthful spirit that just won't I can't seem to grow out of. I'm glad that I gave myself a chance. I'm glad that I didn't just write it off as something, because I know I'm not 15. No, it was fun. It's fun getting to relive that time of life without having to experience the consequences of being a 15-year-old in high school.
And you're talking about the character that you really got cast for primarily, which was Anthony LaRusso.
Yes, for Anthony LaRusso. Yeah, I had a blast. I got to experience a range of personalities and emotions during our session together.
You were sent, like most of the people, a slew of characters. There were adults, there were, all kinds of things. Why did you read for Anthony?
Well, as one does when you get a breakdown of characters, you look at the descriptions, you kind of have to make a mental note of what could I fit in the ballpark of, and what's just a waste of my time. I try to be specific in my work. I don't want to just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, but I read the character description. I know that I have a bit of a more youthful sound in my voice, and I thought I'd just check it out. And I look at the thumbnail that pops up for the reference video, and I see the kid that plays Anthony LaRusso, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this kid looks like he's 12. There's no way. I'm going to listen to this for a second and go, okay, next, crossing that off. And the moment he spoke, I'm like, that's me. That's what I sound like. He sounds like me. I sound like him. I've gotten auditions for different like voice matching projects before, and it's always this process of like, I kind of sound like him a little bit, but I don't. And I'm listening to him. I'm like, I got to just like change a little bit of how I speak and maybe just bring it up just a little bit. But that, like, we even kind of have a similar look too. So that I don't know how much of that is just origin around the world. It was fun. And then getting the feedback, and obviously being cast as the character too was a nice affirmation of like, okay, I could hear it a little bit.
You also had to do a secondary character. You had to do Big Red.
Mm-hmm. So, with the video game work, right? A vocal malleability is essential in the booth, being able to play one character in a certain way and then switch on a dime so that the player in the, as they're experiencing the game isn't able to distinguish between 2 or 3 different characters. And so part of it initially was reading the breakdown of Big Red and then kind of like, all right, he's the older brother and at times he's a bit of a bully. And so trying to understand, I sound exactly like myself in the first character, so I have to do something different. At this point, I'm only working from scratch. The audition, I kind of presented something a little bit deeper, a little bit more menacing. And then once we were given the script and once we got to work together, Gillian and I, it was really fun to kind of see, oh, there's a little bit of humor here. And this guy is like, he can be a bully, but he's also kind of a dweeb. And so kind of bringing in like different influences to kind of create a full dynamic performance and a dynamic character that does have a little bit of range, because he's not just fighting. He's not just, there's these fun interactions that the PC gets to have with Big Red in the dojo. Finding the character and then working with the script, we were finding, oh, we can tweak these lines a little bit to even more inform this personality and the 3-dimensionality of this character. And so that was really fun. For Skeleton Male, that was tough. I got a bit of a nasal to my tone, and it's very distinguishable. And so really, like, Gillian was super supportive in helping me, like, just kind of scan through my body to find a register in which we could continue to play and continue to find something new while not, stretching or hurting myself or anything. So yeah, it was really fun.
Fantastic. Jake, thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Of course. Thank you for having me today, and thanks for bringing me on for the game. I'm so excited for everyone to see it and play it. And yeah, thank you guys.